Okay, this is going to be scattered a little, maybe unorganized. We're going to talk about PTSD. I got a call 2 days ago from my parents saying that they needed someone to go to their house because the cops were there. My brother had hit my sister. For context, I have 22 siblings. Most of them are adopted. There were 5 of us. I'm number 4 of 5. And they all have disabilities. Like varying levels of disability. So my brother, who we're speaking about, is he's bipolar and he's got a seizure disorder and some obvious neurodivergence, brain development issues. And my sister has cerebral palsy, pretty severe cerebral palsy. She's in a chair. She's had her spine fused. Like, she doesn't get out of her chair. And they got into an issue in the front yard after she'd been dropped off from transportation from a day program. So he was helping her get inside. They were fighting. He hit her in the face. Oh, God. So that's a lot to deal with anyway, because anything in that house is so, like, nuanced, right? You have to deal with everybody differently because everybody is different. So I pulled up after a drive that sucked. It takes between 3 and 5 minutes for me to drive from my house to my parents. And that whole time, I'm thinking of Victor Perez. If you don't know Victor Perez, he was a child with disabilities. He was 17 years old, lived about 2 hours south of us, and the cops were called to his house because he was in a behavior, and the neighbor or some guy working at a store, a shop, I don't know, didn't know the family, called the cops, said the guy was drunk with a knife, and the cops came. So Victor did have a knife, and his family was there with him trying to talk to the police. Broken English. Victor didn't speak any English at all. He stood up behind a fence in his own yard, stood up with a knife, stumbled because he's got cerebral palsy, right? And 4 police officers from behind the fence shot this child, and killed him. He was in a coma for a couple of days. He lost legs. And then they finally declared and took him off life support. Because these cops didn't de-escalate. The thing is, one of the 4 had non-lethal projectiles. The other 3 knew that and still fired 9 bullets into this 17-year-old child with disabilities from behind a fucking fence. So that's what's going through my mind as I'm on my way to my parents' house. And I'm talking myself down. I'm like, nah, it's fine. There's going to be like 1 cop there. Everybody's fine. Whatever. So I pull up, and there are three cop cars and an ambulance. The last time I got a call from my parents, from my dad, asking me to go to their house. And I showed up, and there were 3 cops and a paramedic. My younger sister had died. That was last February. She had charge syndrome. She passed in her sleep. And my dad was at work, and my mom was alone when she found her. So 2 days ago, after thinking about Victor Perez, my old drive, I showed up to my parents' house, and it was just covered in lights. And it was so scary. And I was very short with the cops. I said, "Do you have enough fucking lights? Hey, I'm Jesse." It was a little much, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't feel like much, but I was fucking livid with them. And not very cooperative. And I feel a little guilty because they were like, sibling rivalry. We're just going to let it go and you guys deal with this. And that was super, super cool of them. That was very cool of them. Because he didn't deny that he hit her. He broke her glasses. She cut her cheek. But they handled it reasonably. My little brother was scared, and should be, because that wasn't an okay thing, but like, he should be scared of going to jail. He shouldn't be scared of being shot by 4 cops behind a fence, which is the state that we live in. It's fucking terrifying. So we'll probably talk more about my PTSD. I have complex PTSD from several things in my life. And the building and the heaviness and the place that it just puts your brain and your body. Like, it's been 2 days and my body is sore today, but yesterday it felt like I was in a car wreck. It's affecting me physically for sure, and keeping up with all of the regime and all of the racism. And that's another thing. Like, maybe half of my siblings are not white. So it's just a fucky time to have to exist in the world, you know? It just sucks. And that's all. Take some time. If you have these problems, reach out. I can definitely relate. Other things that have contributed to my PTSD are sibling loss, disappearing of siblings from foster care. So foster siblings, but still. I was in a car wreck. I was assaulted by residents at a disabilities agency. I had 2 concussions in 2 weeks. at that job. I was also in an abusive marriage. I've got some PTSD from that. So, like, I get it. And I know that it's hard right now. And we're going through it. We're going through it, and it's a lot of us. And everything that is happening in the States and spreading to the world is going to contribute. It's not going to make it better. Have a coffee. Go enjoy your day. Not too much coffee, though, if you're like me, because that will, like,